Hi, friends, and a very pleasant good afternoon. Welcome to Waynesburg University. At this time, we ask that the audience members silence all cell phones and electronic devices. And also, would you please consider closing your umbrellas in deference to your fellow audience members. Now I ask you to please direct your attention to the southwest corner of Fountain Park, directly behind you, where the 2017 commencement procession is about to begin.
Good afternoon, everybody. We welcome you to the commencement exercises at Waynesburg University. Please remain standing and remove your hats for the presentation of the colors by the West Virginia University Army ROTC Color Guard and the singing of the national anthem.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we held at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rockets' red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave?
Let us join our hearts and minds together in prayer. Let us pray. Holy and loving God, you have given each of us life. You care for us, and you have loved us every step of the way. We are so very grateful. On this day, we are especially filled with gratitude for these men and women. We bless you for them, for the ways in which they grew together and became a part of this caring community. We thank you for the families and loved ones who gave them to us, for their support and for their pride in their great work that these graduates have accomplished. We are grateful for the faculty and staff of this university for their hard work in not only teaching, but creating a loving and nurturing environment, which on this day we glimpse its fruition. And Lord, we are thankful for all those who labored behind the scenes to make this day special in so many ways. Lord, on this day, we ask for your blessing upon these, your graduates, for the good purpose and plans you have for each and every one of them. Your world needs them and your love, which they so wonderfully bear. So we ask that you would lead them as they head off into the future, a future filled with your shining hope. Guide them. Help them to lead lives of faith, learning, and serving. Help them to use wisely the knowledge they have gained here. Together, may they make the world a better place and each other's struggles somehow easier. And through it all, God, show them that you will be with them always through whatever lies ahead in good times and in tough. Let them know that you are there and that nothing can ever separate them for your love. And finally, Father, we ask that you bless this university and all who come and serve here, that together we may continue your work of shaping leaders to live lives of purpose for the building of your kingdom. So may it be for each and every one of us that wherever we are, we would live our lives rooted in your love, always looking to your Son as our best teacher, Jesus the Christ, who lives and reigns with you and the Holy Spirit, one God, forever and ever. Amen. You may be seated.
We wish to recognize the special guests on the platform, the trustees, and the faculty and staff of Waynesburg University. We extend greetings to all alumni present, and we extend a special welcome to you, the parents, friends, and families of the graduates of the class of 2017. Greetings on behalf of the Board of Trustees will be extended by the Chair of the Board, Mr. Mark Harner.
On behalf of the Board of Trustees, it is indeed an honor to welcome you here today. This board, entrusted with the responsibility to establish guidelines for the university that exemplify the foundation and spirit of a Christian liberal arts institution, is proud to share this special day with you. We support the Christian principles on which this university was founded and endeavored to provide our students with a strong academic foundation for lifelong contributions that advocate the mission of this institution. Today, we celebrate your accomplishments and anticipate that you, the class of 2017, are prepared to meet the challenges ahead with the wisdom, compassion, and faith that are at the heart of the Waynesburg University legacy. Congratulations on your achievements, and may God bless your lives.
It is truly an honor to welcome Mrs. Aradhna Oliphant to our campus. As President and CEO of Leadership Pittsburgh, Mrs. Oliphant guides the area's premier resource for developing informed and engaged leaders and linking them with opportunities to serve in our region. Deeply committed to community building, Mrs. Oliphant is actively engaged with the academic, public, corporate, and nonprofit sectors. She serves on numerous boards, including the National Association of Leadership Programs, the Pittsburgh Parking Authority, the Forbes Funds, and the Commonwealth of Pennsylvania Advisory Committee for U.S. Global Leadership Coalition. Mrs. Oliphant was invited by Pennsylvania Governor Tom Wolf to serve on his Transition Steering Committee, and in 2015 was appointed to the County Government Review Commission. Mrs. Oliphant serves as Vice President of the International Women's Forum of Pittsburgh. She has been recognized for her innovation and leadership as a woman of distinction by several area civic organizations and as one of the top 25 most influential people in the region by Pittsburgh Magazine. Born and raised in India, Mrs. Oliphant holds a Master of Business Administration from Rutgers University and a Master of Arts in Psychology from Bhopal University. It is with great pleasure that we welcome an individual who has consistently demonstrated passion for the greater good and whose moral and business philosophies so closely mirror those of Waynesburg University. Please join me today in welcoming Mrs. Oliphant.
Thank you, President Lee, for this incredible honor, and to the entire Waynesburg community, Board of Trustees, faculty, thank you. Thank you especially to the class of 2017. I'm deeply humbled to be with you sharing this moment, and to be honest, more than a little intimidated. Being asked to give the commencement address feels like being given the stewardship to one's most important transitions, precious transitions. It feels like being handed a sacred trust, and if there was one lesson that I learned from the nuns at Catholic school growing up in India, is that you do not want to fall short on a sacred trust. But when I was invited to be your speaker today by President Lee, I didn't hesitate. I love that this university believes so much in the concept of servant leadership, which in my experience is the only real and lasting leadership that we can ever offer one another. And I think there has never been a more important time for a new generation of future leaders to step forward with hearts filled with love and a desire to bring light into the world, as your motto, Fiat Lux, captures so well. So I did not want to miss this opportunity to share some thoughts with you as you prepare to continue on from here, this beautiful place, that's Waynesburg University, to whatever is next on your journey. As President Lee mentioned, I was born and raised a world away from here in a town called Bhopal, which is in the center of India. Probably no one would be as surprised by where my life's journey has led me as the young woman who moved to America as a new wife and immigrant at the ripe old age of 21. I never thought of myself as any kind of leader in those days. I had grown up in a time in a country where girls in my culture were expected to conform and obey, not lead. Ironically, and as I think about it, maybe because of that, I wrote my master's thesis about self-efficacy and how important it is for leaders to embrace their individual agency. But it didn't feel remotely relevant or real to me personally as I was writing that dissertation. And it wasn't until years later that I would discover leadership as a personal calling, and more specifically, the cultivation of leadership in others as a personal calling. What I have learned along the way was gifted to me by my caring mentors and teachers, and by my students. As is so often the case, it has been in teaching that I have learned, and in trying to help others that I have received the most guidance. When I was young, I used to think of leadership as a role or a title or maybe a heroic moment, something spectacular and rare that only a few could do. What I have discovered, though, is that it has nothing to do with roles or titles, and that it is rarely about big moments and heroic deeds. Rather, it is usually about something much more common: the qualities of everyday life and of a life well lived. The leaders I have been privileged to know and work with in my life, the ones I have admired and learned the most from, have all shared just three simple attributes. And I think those are useful traits for all leaders to keep in mind, no matter what their age or background or station in life, even us older folks. So this message is for your parents too. The first is that these leaders remain curiously humble. The Harvard psychologist Daniel Gilbert once observed, human beings are work in progress that mistakenly think they are finished. Human beings are works in progress that mistakenly think they are finished. I love that because that's so true for all of us. We get a degree, a title, a rank, and we think that's it. We are done now, or at least we are supposed to be done. And it keeps happening to us throughout our lives. We reach a certain stage and we think we are fully formed, completed, or have to pretend to be. But the leaders, the true leaders I have met, avoid falling into that trap. No matter how much authority or respect they may command, they remain aware of themselves in a kind of conscious and deliberate way as works in progress, that they have a lot to learn still. Invariably, these men and women have a strong core, usually of faith or belief. They are not pushovers bending with every new current, but alongside their core faith, they also carry the wisdom of the popular saying that God is not done with me yet. For them, this is not an apology or an excuse, but a welcome conviction, a way of approaching life. They embrace the opportunity to grow through the people they meet, the blessings that they enjoy, and the challenges that they face. What these leaders seem to understand at an almost intuitive, natural level is that life forms us, each one of us, not all at once, but in a slow unfolding that continues as long as we draw breath. At Leadership Pittsburgh, I meet wonderful people, so many people, and sometimes many of them think that being a leader means having all the answers. But I know the real leaders in our classes right away, and several of them have come from Waynesburg University. They are the ones who make everyone else feel like teachers because they are so curious, so interested, and so ready to learn. Not surprisingly, this first quality of being curiously humble connects directly to the second I always see in the leaders I admire, which is that they are present. Whatever the moment brings, whatever situation they find themselves in, they are fully in it. One of my favorite ways of describing this dynamic is how Galileo once described the sun. He wrote, "The sun, with all its planets revolving around it and depending upon it, can still warm a bunch of grapes as though it had nothing else in the world to do." Think about it. And out of that comes wine. In my experience, this is how the best leaders make us feel. No matter what's going on, no matter how many responsibilities they may carry, they make each of us feel significant. Think about it. Put that face in your mind's eye of the leaders you have admired, your mentors. They make us feel that we matter. One of my professional areas of interest is how the fields of neuroscience and leadership are converging today around the idea of mindfulness. What science is teaching us is that the quality of attention is a discipline that can be developed. The quality of attention is a discipline that can be developed. We can literally train our brains into being present. And this is what good leaders actually do. They do not look for moments of greatness and heroism, of sudden fame and abrupt fortune. They let the moments of greatness come to them by treating every moment and every person along their path as though that moment and that person deserves their full attention. Mahatma Gandhi captured the essence of it so perfectly when he said, please listen intently when he said, "Whatever you do will be insignificant. Whatever you do will be insignificant, but it is very important that you do it." Those seemingly inconsequential small moments that fill up so much of life and of leadership are actually what greatness is made of. And it is only in attending to them with our full presence, like the sun, that we achieve any goal worth pursuing. Business and leadership literature today are full of complaints about how the world has too many would-be leaders and not enough followers, but I disagree vehemently. Maybe what the world really lacks are servant leaders who feel truly present to us, who make us feel like Galileo's grapes, who make us feel that we are respected and what we do matters and that we matter. And that brings me to the third quality of the great leaders I hope you will be in your lives. They get involved. Whatever they can do, they do. Whatever they can give, they give. Years ago, I had an experience in our flagship program that has always struck with me. We had just heard about a difficult set of challenges facing the Pittsburgh region. We expose folks in our programs to the issues present in our region and the opportunities, and many people in the class were upset, like emotional, about how bad things were in a certain area. And one of the participants turned to me and demanded, quite angrily, "What are you going to do to fix this, Aradhna?" In the years since then, I have seen that moment repeat itself several times. And to me, it's the most important and teachable moment in our programs because it is so common even among those sometimes who qualify for something called Leadership Pittsburgh. We discover something upsetting, we want it to be made better, and so we turn to someone else and demand, what are they going to do about it to make it better? But leadership comes only when we turn that question on ourselves. What are we going to do about it? What am I going to do about it? Without that question and without the willingness to answer it, however small or trivial our contribution might seem, there is no leadership. And there are no leaders, just bosses, just people with rank, just bullies and bombasts, not leaders. Leadership, real leadership, is deeply, deeply personal. It's about what you do. It's about what you are willing to risk, what you are willing to give of yourself to a world that desperately needs you to contribute in whatever way you possibly can. I have seen accomplished business leaders and decorated veterans, including former officers, transformed by this realization. We forget sometimes just how powerful we are. But there is no honor and no true humility in this forgetting, because it robs the world of our gifts and our legacy. It takes away only our leadership. To the class of 2017, let me say this. This wonderful, beautiful, mission-centric university has taught you to engage life with faith and spirituality at your core. This is a gift, but this gift has consequences. You might even call it a sacred trust. As the theologian Henry J.M. Nouwen put it, the spiritual life does not remove us from the world. The spiritual life does not remove us from the world, but leads us deeper in it. We live in a time of unprecedented change when the only thing we can be sure of is its velocity. It has been said that the pace of change has never been this fast and will never be this slow again. It is fair to say that no generation in human history has come of age at a time when the future seems so insanely out of control and so ripe for reinvention. Hope, you will bring light to that. How might you consider bringing light to that into a world where there is so much heat but so little clarity? How you do that is a leadership challenge you each will face differently. But here is what I know with absolute certainty. No matter what technology we invent, no matter how much around us and about us changes, we will still need each other. We will still need the embrace of family, the support of friends, and yes, the cradle of community. We will still have only one place to prove the reality of whatever faith we profess, and that's in the love and caring we show each other. And the leaders who remind us of that, who keep us whole in a world that tries to pull us apart, will be the ones who remain curious, who show up, and who get involved. They will remain curious, they will be present, and they will give. 3 simple traits. May you be those leaders. May you show the way. God bless, Godspeed. Thank you for this privilege.
Honored guests will now be introduced by the President of the University.
I wish to recognize Mr. Mark Fox, a member of the Board of Trustees.
Mr. President, I am pleased to present to you Reverend Dr. Daniel Migliore for the degree of Doctor of Humane Letters.
Dr. Migliore, will you please come forward? I also request that Mr. Mark Harner and Reverend Donald Wilson, members of the Board of Trustees, come forward to assist with the investiture.
Dr. Daniel Migliore, in recognition of your distinguished career in theology education and the inspiration you have provided to a generation's worth of leaders in religion, Waynesburg University honors you. A distinguished teacher, leader, and reverend, your voice has influenced and motivated individuals throughout our nation. Your work has set you apart as an outstanding role model and inspirational leader in education and religion. An accomplished author, you have introduced countless minds to Christian theology, and in doing so, you have inspired others to understand Christ's love. Through your best-selling textbook, you have illuminated the minds of eager learners across this country. With more than 4 decades dedicated to educating and inspiring others, you are an inspiration to us. It is because of the meaningful and extensive impact you have made through your life's work that we are pleased to recognize and honor you.
In sincere respect and admiration for your steadfast commitment to all those you so diligently serve and teach, and for the ways in which you share Waynesburg University's mission of faith, learning, and serving, it is with honor that we confer upon you the degree of Doctor of Humane Letters and cause you to be invested with this hood. I have the honor of welcoming you into the ancient and universal society of scholars, with all the rights, privileges, and responsibilities pertaining thereto. Congratulations. I now recognize Mr. Fred DePalma, a member of the Board of Trustees.
Mr. President, on behalf of the Board of Trustees, I am pleased to present to you, for the degree of Doctor of Humane Letters, Mrs. Aradhna Oliphant.
Mrs. Oliphant, will you please come forward? I also request that Mr. Jim Lowe, a member of the Board of Trustees, come forward to assist with the investiture.
Aradhna Malhotra Oliphant, for your wholly inspirational and innovative work ethic, as evidenced by your successful career in leadership development and a multitude of professional posts, Waynesburg honors you. As you guide Leadership Pittsburgh as President and Chief Executive Officer, you inspire our region's leaders to strive for excellence and to remain engaged in their communities and the world, encouraging countless individuals to pursue lives of purpose. Your unwavering drive for community building is reflected in your involvement with the academic, public policy, corporate, and nonprofit sectors. Your demonstrated passion for community engagement and serving others mirrors the efforts of Waynesburg University to instill such admirable qualities in its students. Recognized for your innovation and leadership as a woman of distinction by several area civic organizations, and most recently in 2015 as one of the top 25 most influential people in the region by Pittsburgh Magazine, you are an inspiration to the young women who wish to change the world. Your ambition, influential career, and moral and business philosophies serve as examples to Waynesburg University students as they prepare to become the leaders of tomorrow. For that, we are pleased to recognize you.
In gratitude and respect for your achievements and for the ways in which your life parallels Waynesburg University's mission of faith, learning, and serving, it is with great honor that we confer upon you the degree of Doctor of Humane Letters and cause you to be invested with this hood. I have the honor of welcoming you into the ancient and universal society of scholars with all the rights, privileges, and responsibilities pertaining thereto. Congratulations. I am pleased to announce that Ms. Taylor Garrett is the valedictorian of the class of 2017. Please stand and be recognized. The valedictory to the university will now be given by Ms. Taylor Garrett.
Good afternoon, graduating students, President Lee, faculty and staff, honored guests, family and friends, both here and watching at home. Today is an exciting day, and it's also a very hectic one. I'd like to give each of the graduates a few moments now to sit still and to recognize and enjoy the awesome privilege and achievement that we are celebrating today. Maybe take a look at those around you, close your eyes and say a little prayer, or do an iconic Breakfast Club fist pump. Please take a couple of calm moments now to cherish this moment. And now that your 10 or so seconds of silence are up, I'll keep going. Graduating from college is a big deal. It's an incredible accomplishment, and it's an important stepping stone. During our tenure here at Waynesburg University, we have planted strong roots, and we have already seen some of the fruits of our labors. Waynesburg has been our home, and we have had beautiful experiences here. Outside of studying for endless hours at the library, we have formed deep relationships with roommates, with friends, and with professors that will last for years to come. We have conducted nationally recognized research. We have crafted award-winning newspapers. We have won athletic conference titles. We have produced inspiring musical and artistic events. And we have served selflessly in the local community. We have done good works here that will propel us to do the same in the future. However, I know that for each and every one of us, there have been both an endless number of successes and failures that have gotten us to this point. And although we are achieving something important today, there will still be both successes and failures that will bring us to the next stages of life as well. We are going to screw up, we are going to fall flat on our faces, and we are going to fail. And it's at this point that you're probably wondering why they let me come up here and do my speech. But I promise I'm getting to a happier part. Although the world is going to push us down, and although we will experience hardships, we will get back up. We will try again, and we will learn and relearn how to do this thing called life. We can't be perfect, nor are we meant to be. A beloved professor during my study abroad semester shared with me a simple phrase that he uses to remind himself that although the world can be a disheartening place, we have to persevere through it. He told me that in trying to resist and stand up against the hardships, against the injustices, and against the oppression of the world, hay que vivir la lucha con alegría. You have to live the fight with happiness. Romans chapter 5, verses 3 and 4 remind us that we rejoice in our sufferings. There is glory even in our pain, knowing that suffering produces hope, hope produces endurance, and character. Okay, I'll try that again. Romans chapter 5 reminds us that we rejoice in our sufferings, knowing that suffering produces endurance, endurance produces character, and character produces hope. To live the fight of each day, we need this endurance, character, and hope. In order to run with perseverance the race that has been marked out for us, with loving and hopeful dispositions, we also have to remember that this is not our race to run, nor our fight to win alone. The endurance that we need to keep on, the character that we strive to embody, and the hope we hold on to comes from strong, meaningful, lasting relationships. Only solidarity can sustain us. Solidarity is an uncommon word in our society today, but it's a really important one. Someone who values solidarity puts others' needs before their own. This person unconditionally and wholeheartedly loves their neighbors, and they form deep and lasting bonds with everyone they meet, including and especially with strangers. Educator James Comer says that no significant learning can occur without a significant relationships. Relationships built on solidarity are vulnerable, deep, and significant. As we learn to navigate the next steps in our lives, I pray that we would constantly rely on these significant relationships with family, with friends, and with mentors, and also with God, to sustain us. As we go out into the world and teach struggling students, as we nurse sick patients, as we work for flawed companies, as we do imperfect work, I hope you remember that you are never alone. God has provided us with communities to spur us on to do good works, communities to be there for us, and communities to encourage us. We too often want to rely on our own strengths, our own skills, and our own abilities to fix the trials that we are faced with. We think that we can do it all ourselves. As we depart on this new, terrifying, and exciting stage of life, I hope that we can consciously depend on more than just ourselves. By consciously depending on people who will support and love us unconditionally, we can remain strong and have enough stamina to persevere through anything. By consciously depending on God and His unknown but perfect plan for each one of us, we can remain faithful and trust that He is molding us and changing us into becoming agents of justice and peace that He was meant for us to be. By consciously depending on others, we can be simple and humble people who too can support, love, and sustain others. There is a lot of pressure on us, on our generation, to make lasting and beneficial changes in the world. And although we need to be these positive agents of change, and although we need to strive to break down barriers and prejudices that counteract God's love in the world, we can't do it alone. We will not do it perfectly, and we very well may not see our successes. We may not succeed during our lifetimes. But this doesn't mean we shouldn't try. In the words of Ruth Padilla de Borst, I hope that we would all strive to humbly, brokenly, and falteringly follow Jesus as we go out into the world and wage war on the unjust systems of society and as we aim to build new ones. My prayer for all of us graduates today is that we would strive to stop sustaining the oppressive and unjust ways of the world, and that instead we would learn to become people who enrich and encourage new systems built on relationships, new systems of solidarity. I pray that we would go out into the world as new workers and new professionals, that we would be sources of light in the world, and that we would remember that the most important thing is not what we can achieve in our own lives, but what we can cultivate in solidarity with our neighbors. To the faculty and staff that are Waynesburg University, thank you for instilling in each of us students the knowledge, the endurance, the character, and the hope that will allow us to be agents of change in the world. To the graduating class of 2017, I am so excited to see where the future will take each of us and the important, meaningful change that we will initiate in the world around us. Congratulations to the class of 2017.
I am pleased to introduce Mr. Freddie Fields, representing the Graduate and Professional Studies Program candidates, who will offer a few words to the graduates. Mr. Fields.
President Lee, distinguished faculty, family members, friends, and to this class of 2017, I say good afternoon. And state from Proverbs 2:6, for God gives wisdom, and from his mouth comes knowledge and understanding. I would like to thank God for his love, grace, and mercy. My loving, smart wife, Sylvia, of almost 30 years, for her support and patience. My son, Justin, and daughter, Jetty, for inspiring me with your determination and helping me to grow as a dad. The Applied Business MBA program was my chosen area of study, but today I'm honored to be at main campus representing the business, the education, the nursing, criminal investigation, and counseling graduate students that attended online or at remote locations in Monroeville, Cranberry, and South Point. I would like to talk today to you about my story of moving out of my comfort zone and being in or creating positive relationships with God, my wife, children, friends, and others that I have met along my 60 years of being part of God's plan. I grew up in the Hill District and East Liberty neighborhoods of Pittsburgh in a two-parent married household with 5 siblings. My father loved and provided for his family, had a primary job as a hard-working steel worker and secondary job as a jitney driver, or early form of the modern-day Uber or Lyft driver. My mother was a God-fearing housewife and laundry worker for 7 years. She instilled in me a love of God and passion for learning. I attended the Outlook program at private Shadyside Academy in suburban Fox Chapel in the summer of 1970 as a student from Heron Hill Middle School. This program brought teenage males together from public city schools of Heron Hill, Westinghouse, and Fifth Avenue to increase academic proficiency, self-image, and better our interpersonal relationships and athletic abilities. My high school math teacher at Shenley High School encouraged me to attend and pursue engineering in college since I was good in math. I quit the basketball team. I attended summer school to take trigonometry between my junior and senior year. This allowed me to take calculus during my senior year of high school, and I was awarded a full academic scholarship in mechanical engineering from the University of Delaware. After graduating from college, I met my wife on a blind date, set up by a friend that I worked with, and was married to a friend that my wife worked with. While working at my current organization, I decided again to move out of my comfort zone and obtain an MBA at Waynesburg for the purposes of helping my son start a business if he needed my help after graduation. Waynesburg was chosen because it is a high-rated Christian university offering several finance courses and has a campus close to my home in Monroeville. The Waynesburg MBA program has provided me with tools to continue to develop or be part of positive relationships with my family, church, workplace, community, country, and the world. These tools include group and individual economic analysis presentations, research papers, case studies, company annual report term papers, recommendations on sale of companies, having an IPO, company leverage buyouts, financial and critical analysis, organizational structures and reorganizations, information systems, and simulation exercises on product development, performing market and statistical analysis, ad placement, branding, marketing, market share, and performance monitoring, and raising capital. MBA skills learned have been incorporated at my workplace on statistical analysis, organizational changes, and sharing and collaborating, and at my church through my appointment to a vision team tasked with developing a strategic plan. I invite you to come out of your comfort zone and create or be part of positive relationships. Thank you, and praise God.
The candidates for degrees in course will be presented to the President by our Provost, Dr. Dana Baer.
First, Mr. President, it is my pleasure to call to your attention those graduating seniors and others who have earned special academic honors. Those graduating with Latin honors, summa cum laude, magna cum laude, and cum laude, and those recipients of special academic honors, please stand to receive our recognition. Now, the entire class of 2017 will please stand. Mr. President, the ladies and gentlemen standing before you have fulfilled all the requirements for the doctoral, master's, and bachelor's degrees as prescribed by the Board of Trustees and the faculty of Waynesburg University. In recognition of completion of these requirements, will the bachelor's degree candidates please move your tassel from the right to the left? Mr. President, I am pleased to present these candidates to you for their degrees.
Congratulations, ladies and gentlemen. You may be seated. And will the graduates please come forward as your names are called?
The following graduates are conferring the Doctor of Nursing Practice degree. Beverly A. Bokovitz.
Michelle Paula Lazito.
Elizabeth Ruth Tedesco.
The following graduates are conferring the Master of Arts degree. Sean Kenneth Brisbane, Counseling.
Noble Catherine Chirovia, Criminal Investigation.
Jessica Nicole Frank, Counseling.
Chelsea Marie Gayton, Criminal Investigation.
Rebecca Margaret Hudock, Counseling.
Joey Lynn Luck, Criminal Investigation.
Samuel Brossard McCune, Counseling.
Christopher James Oblinger, Criminal Investigation.
Shelby Margaret O'Brien, Counseling.
Kimberly Eve Perry, Counseling.
Emily Renee Reed, Counseling.
Jordan A. Rode, Criminal Investigation.
Jarrett Anthony Romano, Counseling.
Kimberly Rose, Counseling.
Hannah Sunshine Sandy, Counseling.
Jasmine Kyla Smith, Counseling.
Lisa Ann Solomon, Counseling.
Lori Catherine Steer, Counseling.
Angela K. Stutzman Rayleigh, Counseling.
Robert Lamont Thornton, Criminal Investigation.
Jennifer Wild, Counseling.
Julie Ann Wise, Criminal Investigation, also conferring a Master of Business Administration.
The following graduates are conferring the Master of Business Administration degree. Dennis David Alexander II.
Robert D. Barnhart.
Scott Morgan Bird, Jr.
Micah Stockman Caparelli.
Nicole Lee Chirpak.
Kristen Barbara Corbett.
Joseph Christian Culp.
Brandon Edward Daughtry.
Daniel James Durazio.
Kathleen Ann Frizzell.
Ryan Scott Galliotto.
Jennifer S. Gallagher.
Amanda Rameas Ganzer.
Sean Michael Grenier.
Anthony Gerald.
Lauren Ann Levitt.
Zachary R. Machuga.
Tyler Brennan Onasco.
E. Wesley Perry III.
Gabrielle Ann Fitnero.
Howard Thomas Riley.
Edwin Lee Robbins.
Freddie Fields.
Anthony Romeo.
Ryan Andrew Smith.
Elaine V. Thorne.
Desiree M. Torek.
Garrett James Tobin.
Patrick J. Tobin.
Heather Diane Whipke.
James E. Wood, Jr.
David Andrew Uhas.
The following graduates are conferring the Master of Education degree. Stephanie Benkowski.
Gennaro Frank Bonaventura.
Ashley Marie Niebel.
L. Randy Pettit.
Pamela Lynn Salerno.
Latanya Sally Sharif.
The following graduates are conferring the Master of Science in Nursing degree. Lisa Ann Atkinson.
Diana Pamela Bias.
Lorraine Demich.
Amy Davis.
Rachel C. Gireffi, also conferring a Master of Business Administration.
Julie Ann Henry.
Emily Jane Hensch, also conferring a Master of Business Administration.
Shayla Hill, MSN, MBA.
Tiffany Serena Johnson.
Alexis Marie Matlick.
Alicia Lee McDonald.
Brittany Ann Nard.
Congratulations. Paula Jane Sexton.
Erica Renee Still, also conferring a Master of Business Administration.
Sharon M. Underreiner, also conferring a Master of Business Administration.
Lindsay Hope Warren.
The following graduates are conferring the Bachelor of Arts degree. Jody Beth Alexander, summa cum laude.
Taylor Elise Allen.
Austin David Anderson, magna cum laude.
Justin Gregory Bevos.
Melissa Lee Bichorski.
Kimberly Baston, summa cum laude.
Megan Beatty.
Parker James Beatty.
Jared A. Becker.
Renee Francis Beliski, summa cum laude.
Desiree Diane Bellino.
Zachary William Benedict.
Brianna Renee Bennett, magna cum laude.
Cameron Scott Bernhardt.
Jed Michael Berry.
Gordon Lee Bieber.
Rosie Blanco.
Alexis Renee Boudreau.
Caroline Elizabeth Brown.
Joseph Patrick Buchanan Jr.
Elaine E. Burns, magna cum laude.
Derek Brandon Caldwell.
Evelyn Ashley Canby.
Paige Michaela Carter.
John Tyler Colosimo.
Timothy Cooper.
Danelle Corinne Cormany, summa cum laude.
Allison Susan Cody, summa cum laude.
David Christopher Cross.
Sarah Elizabeth Dansick.
D. Daniel Davis.
Tavon Dimitri Davis. Kyle Joseph Dawson.
Nicholas Anthony Deitch, magna cum laude.
Jamie Janet Deniston, magna cum laude.
Maggie Lynn Deniston, magna cum laude.
Emilio De Stefano.
Nicole Drew.
Heidi Mariah Evans, summa cum laude.
Summer Lee Fiore, summa cum laude.
Elizabeth Ann Flanagan.
Jacqueline Marie Fleck.
Carolino Marie Gasparo.
Brittany Nicole Gates.
James Taylor Glisson.
Natalie Margaret Glody.
Cassidy Morgan Graham.
Amelia Ann Graves, magna cum laude.
Cody Allen Guthrie.
Emily Marie Hackman.
Michael Andrew Lennon Hamlin.
Carrie Marie Hanlon, summa cum laude.
Jessica Page Hapeman, magna cum laude.
Rachel Nicole Hathaway, magna cum laude.
Joshua M. Hausler, summa cum laude.
Amy Elizabeth Hawley.
Michael Anthony Heasley.
Casey Michael Heimberger.
Emily Page Heino, magna cum laude.
Billy Lynn Hill.
Logan Warren Hoke.
Catherine Kathleen Hoeing, magna cum laude.
Ella Mae Hollenbach.
Catherine Lynn Hoover, magna cum laude.
Caitlin Anne Marie Hunsaker, magna cum laude.
Anthony David Giuliani, summa cum laude.
Ashley Sarah Capp, magna cum laude.
Chelsea Jeanne Couts.
Brendan P. Keeney.
Marissa Marie Crawl, summa cum laude.
Amber Nicole Lamping, magna cum laude.
Olivia Dayton Latimer, magna cum laude.
Sarah Ann Lee.
Ronald A. Lacey Jr.
Taryn Elizabeth Leiter, summa cum laude.
Dominica Lewin.
Tessa Patterson Maloney.
Amber Elizabeth Martin, magna cum laude.
David A. Martin.
Patrick Michael Martin.
Matthew Paul McDermott, cum laude.
Brittany Allison McGarry.
Samantha Ashley McGinnis, cum laude.
Ann McLaughlin.
Michael Merton, summa cum laude.
Jacob Calvin Meyer, cum laude.
Emily Rose Milcarrick, magna cum laude.
Benjamin William Miller.
Tyler Francis Miller.
Shannon Marie Morgan.
Nathan Wallace Morai, magna cum laude.
Lena Mustafa, magna cum laude.
Benjamin Steele Neff II, magna cum laude.
Emily Renee Nowakowski.
Dennis David Edwin O'Donoghue, summa cum laude.
Lindsay Marie Orzechowski.
Jacob Russell Oxendale.
Addie R. Pazinski, summa cum laude.
Jessica Autumn Picar.
Evan Lawrence Pennington, magna cum laude.
Colin J. Pyatt.
Taylor Rose Piper.
Morgan Ray Puckett.
Tori Lee Remish, magna cum laude.
Cassandra Ann Riker.
Matthew Joseph Ronaldo, summa cum laude.
Veronica Ann Ronaldo, summa cum laude.
Kelly Marie Rogers.
Catherine Lynn Roll.
Brandy Marie Rohal, magna cum laude.
Tara Suzanne Rosa.
Ryan Austin Schwartfager, cum laude.
Emily Taylor Schaefer, magna cum laude.
Ryan Matthew Shank, cum laude.
Alexander Edward Silsky, magna cum laude.
Justin Bradley Simmons.
Aaron Michael Smith.
Amy Elizabeth Smith, summa cum laude.
Zachary M. Snydak.
Abigail Elizabeth Stanley.
Andrew J. Stanko, summa cum laude.
Carissa Lee Swab.
Nathan Scott Truax, also conferring a Bachelor of Science in Business Administration.
Miranda Christine Valentino, summa cum laude.
Brandon Derek Van Tyne, summa cum laude.
Sarah Elizabeth Vargas.
Cassidy Renee Bono.
Bo Harvey Walmer, magna cum laude.
Trevor John Watson.
Caitlin Marianne Wetzel.
Elizabeth Ann White, magna cum laude.
Taylor Marie White.
Emily Jensen Wiedner, magna cum laude. Day.
Caleb Isaac Williams.
Ashley Marie Winklevoss, cum laude.
Vincent Michael Francis Wise.
Chelsea Lynn Withers.
Tyler A. Wolf.
Serena M. Wyatt, magna cum laude.
Zachary Lee Ziegler.
Krista Marie Ziefel.
Nicole C. Zimmel.
The following graduates are conferring the Bachelor of Science degree. Clayton B. Ayers.
Holly Nicole Bachman.
Ian Taylor Bernacki.
Brandon Keith Bosley.
Melanie Ann Birchfield.
Timothy Joshua Burkholder.
Filippo Crivelli.
Stephen Keith Day, cum laude.
Devin Matthew Dunmeyer.
Taylor May Garrett, summa cum laude.
Caleb James Gomer.
Catherine Errol Gelman.
Ashley Rose Gunther, magna cum laude.
Chelsea Paige Guerra.
Zachary Lee Hancher, magna cum laude.
Lakin Taylor Hart, magna cum laude.
Joshua David Hennig, magna cum laude.
Jessica Nicole Houghton, summa cum laude.
Christine Elizabeth Hauser.
Jonathan Joseph Kletzley.
Mackenzie Joe Kramer.
Paige Marie Kabaka.
Allison Marie Lipinski.
Megan Elizabeth Lipinski.
Ann Catherine Lazarchak.
Jordan Taylor Logue.
Peyton Elizabeth Lohr.
Gregory T. Leiden, magna cum laude.
Stacy Louise Martin.
Daniel Alvin Marvin Jr., magna cum laude.
Kayla Louise Means.
Abby Nicole Miller.
Cody Scott Nail, cum laude.
Morgan Brittany Neubauer, magna cum laude.
Cassidy Nicole O'Keefe, summa cum laude.
Jordan Thomas Pastoria, cum laude.
Richard H. Pastelivas, Jr.
Timothy Martin Rayner.
Angelica Marie Sabatini.
Hayes Baker Salancy.
Amanda Marie Schneider.
Leisha K. Stickles, magna cum laude.
Marlena Kathleen Weaver.
Derek Vincent Whalen, magna cum laude.
Kristen Rose Wilson, summa cum laude.
Brennan M. Wood, cum laude.
Alexandra Louise Zanaglio, magna cum laude.
The following graduates are conferring the Bachelor of Science in Business Administration degree. Dimitri Avanatopoulos.
John Richard Babus.
Jeremy Adam Baker.
Kevin E. Barnes, Jr.
Jessica Kathleen Bish, magna cum laude.
Sarah L. Carpenter.
Luke J. Carter.
Dominic Raymond Caramella.
Justin P. Davey.
Brahito Salvador Davis.
Ashley Lauren DeMarco.
Kurt Andrew Detweiler.
Jacob John DeGilio.
Lauren Michelle Drain.
Autumn Nicole Faust.
Alyssa Jane Fratto.
Lindy R. Garris.
Jordan Christine Hamill.
Eli Matthew Hargis.
Zachary B. Harkins, summa cum laude.
Scott A. Hefty, cum laude.
David Angelo Horvath.
Timothy Vincent Kaiser.
Rachel Marie Lang, cum laude.
Cole R. Long.
Andrea Maddie Lasco, magna cum laude.
Joseph Thomas Malta. Bethany Nicole McCullum.
Jacqueline E. McGrady.
Joshua Edward Mundell.
David Jeffrey Myers.
Tevin A.J. Odom.
Tiffany Lynn Owad.
Jill Elizabeth Owen.
Ramel Meet Reese.
Jordan Thomas Ritter.
Victoria Ann Robinson, summa cum laude.
Brenna Elizabeth Ross, summa cum laude.
Lydia May Rotowski, cum laude.
Jessica Hope Sassaman.
John Roger Silvidi.
Mallory R. Steinwright.
James Dean Steele Jr.
Travis Montgomery Sumner.
Samuel John Toscone.
John Wesley Wicker, summa cum laude.
The following graduates are conferring the Bachelor of Science in Nursing degree. Stephanie Ann Abadini.
Lauren Ann Adams.
Elena Marie Astudo, cum laude.
Danielle Abigail Beckford.
Jessica Page Black, cum laude.
Madison Evelyn Blubaugh, summa cum laude.
Kylie Ann Bloom.
Rachel Catherine Bona, magna cum laude.
Lauren Nicole Sisney.
Ruth Ann Costanza, summa cum laude.
Jacob James Danks.
Deanna Nicole DeCenzo.
Haley Ann Delaney.
Michaela Marie Dans, cum laude.
Mary M. Forensic.
Kara Catherine Force, cum laude.
Elizabeth Ann Foda, cum laude.
Toriana Star Ferlini.
Constance Marie Greco.
Terry Lynn Gelheiser.
Cassandra May Taylor Hamilton, cum laude.
Natalie Christina Herr, cum laude.
Caitlin Michelle Hoskins.
Olivia Rose Jankowsko.
Mariah Ann Ketter.
Alexander C. Cobert, magna cum laude.
Melissa Ann Kokosinski.
Emily Elizabeth Latimer.
Catherine Louise Latimer.
Janice C. Lemmy.
Linda Ann Marty.
Ashlyn Lee McCartney.
Rachel Elizabeth McCrae.
Shayna Michelle Mickick.
Kylie D. Mongold.
Susan Denise Myers.
Kristen Noel Paul, magna cum laude.
Bethany Bainey Pang.
Katrina Grace Pepin.
Rachel D. Rankin.
Devin Bradford Reed Jr.
Catherine Ann Romanchuk, cum laude.
Abigail Frederick Salter.
Alina Marie Samoilo.
Haley Alexis Sapko.
Nicholas Jacob Sherrick. Brianna Devon Shuckhart.
Katarina Rose Sigwart, magna cum laude.
Mackenzie Rose Smith, cum laude.
Nicole Marie Smith.
Megan Lee Spangler.
Melissa Ann Staub.
Michaela Emily Van Varenberg.
Laura May Walls.
Aubrey Lee Wilson.
It is our pleasure today to recognize one of our students, Matthew Ronaldo, who, in addition to completing the requirements for his degree from Waynesburg University, was also cross-enrolled with the Mountaineer Battalion of the Army ROTC unit at West Virginia University and has completed all of the requirements to earn a commission and become an officer in the United States Army. We are proud. I guess I need to put a pause for applause in there. We are proud of our graduates, faculty, and staff with military backgrounds. Two of our most distinguished graduates include Lieutenant James Perman, who was awarded the Medal of Honor at Gettysburg, and Major General Edward Martin, who served in the Spanish-American War, World War I, as a U.S. Senator and Governor of Pennsylvania. Of all his titles of office, he was most proud of General. Administering the oath of office today will be Major Donald Kirk, Professor of Military Science at West Virginia University.
Raise your right hand, repeat after me. I state your name.
I, Matthew Renato,
Having been appointed an officer
have been appointed an officer
in the Army of the United States
in the Army of the United States
in the grade of second lieutenant,
in the grade of second lieutenant,
do solemnly swear
do solemnly swear
that I will support and defend
that I will support and defend
the Constitution of the United States
the Constitution of the United States
against all enemies,
against all enemies,
foreign and domestic.
foreign and domestic.
I will bear true faith and allegiance to the same.
I will bear true faith and allegiance to the same.
I take this obligation freely,
I take this obligation freely,
without any mental reservation
without any mental reservation
or purpose of evasion,
or purpose of evasion,
and that I will well and faithfully
and that I will well and faithfully
discharge the duties
discharge the duties
of the office upon which I'm about to enter.
of the office upon which I'm about to enter.
So help me God.
So help me God.
Congratulations, Matthew.
Thank you very much.
Part of the commissioning ceremony, in addition to pinning on the rank insignia, is the silver dollar salute. This custom, although exact or origination is arguable, probably predates the formation of the United States Army, going back to British regiments. Authorized by Congress on April 2nd, 1792, the silver dollar is traditionally the only coin given in exchange for the first salute. Soon-to-be lieutenants go to great lengths to secure the silver dollar. We mean a real one, not an Eisenhower dollar. The coin represents more than a dollar in currency. To every new officer, it represents a symbolic receipt of respect due to their newly earned rank and position. At this time, I would like to invite the family members of Lieutenant Ronaldo to come forward and pin on his second lieutenant bars. Once the pinning is complete, please return to your seat so that our newly commissioned second lieutenant can render his first salute. Here to render the first salute from the newly commissioned second lieutenant is Master Sergeant Jeffrey Ladisick, Senior Military Instructor, West Virginia University. As special guests today, we have members of the Waynesburg Veterans of Foreign War Post who will share in our celebration of the continuity of military service in our community. They also join in honoring our newest second lieutenant. Please stand, gentlemen, ladies. Lieutenant Rinaldi, you are dismissed.
The graduates will stand and remain standing for the President's valedictory to the class. Mr. President, I present the class of 2017.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, we had just enough rain to officially baptize you. Praise God. One of the privileges that I have as president is to address each graduating class on this most significant occasion, to gather at the entrance of this great building, Miller Hall, the site where thousands of Waynesburg University students have received their diplomas and celebrated their graduation. Today, you join in this historic tradition. The scriptures teach us that to those who have been given much, much will be required. Many have invested in your education, your family, and the entire university community of faculty, staff, trustees, and alumni. Those who have been honored here today, Dr. Migliori and Dr. Oliphant, provide for us the example of people who have been blessed with many talents and who have chosen to use those talents in ways that have literally touched the world. It is my hope that you will meet your future with the same vision, enthusiasm, and uncompromising commitment. Our nation and our world need you more than ever before. In closing, we expect you to bring distinction to yourselves, to your families, and to Waynesburg University. Your education has given you everything that you need to make a difference in the world, to live a life of purpose. May God grant you the perseverance to do that. Congratulations.
Will the audience please rise for the benediction by Reverend Tinnemeyer? Following the benediction, the audience will please be seated for the recessional.
And now go out into the world in peace. Have courage. Hold fast to what is good. Return no one evil for evil. Strengthen the faint-hearted. Support the weak. Help the suffering. Honor all people. Love and serve the Lord your God, Father, Son, and Holy Spirit, this day and forevermore. Amen. Following the recessional, a reception will be hosted by our Alumni Association immediately behind you in Fountain Park. We hope that you will all gather over there.